You start questioning everything, your memory, your reactions, even your sanity. They say things didn't happen. They twist your words. They tell you you're overreacting. And slowly you begin to wonder if maybe they're right. But you're not crazy. You're being conditioned. This isn't chaos, it's choreography, a psychological strategy designed to confuse you just enough to control you. Because confusion creates dependence. And dependence creates silence. That's the real plan behind manipulation, not to destroy your mind, but to make you question it, until you start asking them for clarity about your own reality. They don't win by being smarter. They win by making you exhausted, by turning every conversation into proof that you can't trust yourself. But once you understand how the confusion is built, the lies, the denials, the contradictions, you can dismantle it piece by piece. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how they make sanity look like madness and how to take back the one thing they fear the most, your certainty, because you're not crazy. You're waking up from someone else's control. Think about it. You try to explain what happened, the words, the tone, the moment. They look at you with calm disbelief and say, "That never happened." You insist. They smile, shake their head and repeat, "You're remembering it wrong." Your heart races. You know it happened, but now you're not so sure, because their calm feels more real than your confusion. Next time, you hesitate before speaking up. You start doubting your memory, your emotions, your sense of timing. You tell yourself, maybe I did exaggerate. And that's exactly how they want you to think. They might even use kindness to seal the confusion. After making you question yourself, they hug you, say, "I love you, but you need to relax." That contrast, harm followed by affection, keeps you emotionally disoriented. It happens in relationships, at work, even in families. They twist your perception until truth feels uncertain and guilt feels natural. And once you stop trusting your own memory, they become your interpreter of reality. You think you're keeping peace, but you're really losing yourself, one rewritten memory at a time. But how do they do it so precisely, so consistently? That's what you're about to learn next. Confusion isn't an accident, it's engineered, and once you see how it's done, their power starts to crumble. 1. The reality flip. This is when they rewrite events as if they hold the truth. You recall something painful. They confidently deny it. Their calm tone clashes with your emotional intensity, and your brain assumes calmness equals credibility. You start to question your own reaction. If I'm this upset and they're this calm, maybe I am overreacting. That's the first fracture in your self-trust. 2. The emotional avalanche. They overwhelm you with contradictions. One minute they're affectionate, the next cold and dismissive. They mix love and rejection until your nervous system can't tell the difference. Your brain becomes addicted to chasing their approval, craving those short bursts of kindness after confusion. It's not love, it's intermittent reinforcement, the same system used to train animals. 3. The inverted blame. When you finally react, cry, argue, defend yourself, they point at your emotion as proof of your instability. See? This is exactly what I mean. You're always dramatic. Now your natural response to being hurt becomes evidence against you. You stop defending yourself just to avoid looking crazy. That's when they win, not by silencing you, but by making you silence yourself. 4. The rewrite loop. Over time, you internalize their voice. You start correcting your own memories before they even speak. Your mind becomes self-policing, loyal to the lie, afraid of the truth. That's how they build control through chaos. They don't destroy reality, they flood it until you can't tell what's true anymore. Here's the truth they never want you to understand. You were never crazy. You were being recalibrated. They wanted you to live in a fog, because clarity is the death of control. Every time you doubted yourself, they tightened their grip. Every time you apologized for overreacting, they gained proof that the system was working. But confusion isn't weakness. It's the body's alarm. It's your intuition screaming through the static. That feeling you called going crazy was actually your mind trying to protect you from manipulation. The reason you felt insane wasn't T because you lost reality. It was S because you were holding on to two versions of it, the one you lived and the one they told you to believe. That conflict burns the mind from the inside out. You weren't broken, you were overloaded. And once you see that, everything changes. You realize that clarity isn't something they can give you. It's something you reclaim. You stop explaining what happened. You stop arguing about memories. You stop asking, why would they do this to me? And start saying, they did. That sentence, they did, is your first step out of the fog. Because the moment you accept that manipulation happened, the spell collapses. You no longer need their version of events to feel sane. You become the narrator again, and when you take back the story, you take back your sanity. You were never losing your mind. You were fighting for it, in silence. Now that you see how they create confusion, here's how you break it. Slowly, calmly, but completely. 1. Stop defending your memories. When you argue with a manipulator, you don't seek truth. You feed their game. Their goal isn't to win the argument, it's to keep you inside it. So instead of explaining, say nothing. Truth doesn't need proof to exist. Let silence protect your sanity. 2. Start documenting reality. When they twist your words, write them down. Keep notes, screenshots, anything that grounds you. You're not collecting evidence for them. You're collecting it for yourself, because confusion thrives in vagueness, but clarity lives in specifics. 3. Reconnect with your body. Manipulation separates you from instinct. Your mind doubts what your body already knows. So learn to trust the signals. The tension in your chest, the tightness in your stomach, the sudden fatigue after speaking with them. That isn't weakness. It's information. Your body recognizes danger before your brain admits it. 4. Set boundaries without explanation. You don't owe a speech to anyone who twisted your truth. Just say, this doesn't feel right for me, and walk away. When they accuse you of being cold, remind yourself, you're not cold, you're clear. 5. Surround yourself with reality-based people. People who validate what you feel, not what they want you to believe. The more you experience honesty and calm, the more your nervous system resets to safety. Recovery isn't about becoming fearless. It's about becoming grounded. Because once your world stops spinning, you realize the truth was never lost. It was just buried under someone else's noise. You're not crazy. You were trapped in someone else's confusion, a maze built from lies, silence, and contradiction. They wanted you to believe your emotions were unstable, your memory unreliable, your truth negotiable. But they failed to understand one thing. Confusion doesn't erase reality. It just delays it. And now, reality is catching up. Every time you trust your perception, the fog thins. Every time you stay calm instead of defending yourself, the spell cracks. Because sanity isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. You're not too emotional. You're the only one who still feels what's real. And that's your superpower, the one they tried to turn into weakness. So stop chasing validation from the people who broke your clarity. You don't need their approval to know what happened. You were there. You remember. That's enough. You're not crazy. You were healing from someone who needed you to think you were. You're not crazy, and once you know that, their plan is over. Subscribe to the channel and don't stop at this video. They're still using tricks you haven't noticed yet. The next video will show you exactly how they do it, and once you see it, you'll never see people the same way again.